In a move that sent shockwaves through the scientific community, the Trump administration took the unprecedented step of barring federal scientists from participating in the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change's 7th assessment report. This decision, widely seen as politically motivated, effectively silenced American voices in the global dialogue on climate change. The ban, announced in 2025, marked a stark departure from decades of US leadership in climate science and cast a long shadow over the future of international climate action. The IPCC, a body of the United Nations, plays a critical role in assessing and synthesizing global climate science. Its reports, produced every 6 to 7 years, provide policymakers with the most comprehensive and authoritative information available on climate change. The US, with its vast scientific resources and expertise, had always been a key contributor to these reports. However, the Trump administration's decision to withdraw from this global effort signaled a dangerous disregard for scientific consensus and a retreat from international cooperation on climate change. The ban extended beyond mere participation in the IPCC report. It effectively muzzled federal scientists, particularly those at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, from openly discussing climate change research. Researchers were instructed to avoid linking climate change to specific weather events or policy implications. This gag order created a climate of fear and uncertainty within the scientific community, stifling open discourse and hindering the free flow of information. The Trump administration's ban on federal scientist participation in the IPCC report had a chilling effect that extended far beyond the halls of government. Scientists, particularly those employed by federal agencies like NOAA, found themselves increasingly hesitant to speak openly about their work. The fear of reprisal, funding cuts, or even job loss led to widespread self-censorship within the scientific community. This suppression of scientific inquiry had a profound impact on the public's understanding of climate change and the urgency of addressing this global crisis. NOAA scientists, renowned for their expertise in weather and climate, became increasingly reluctant to connect the dots between climate change and extreme weather events. Hurricanes, once routinely discussed in the context of a warming world, were now treated as isolated incidents. The link between rising sea levels and climate change was downplayed, despite overwhelming scientific evidence. This self-censorship, born out of fear and political pressure, created a dangerous information vacuum, leaving the public ill-equipped to comprehend the true scale and urgency of the climate crisis. The international community reacted with a mixture of dismay and condemnation to the US withdrawal from the IPCC process. The European Union and the United Kingdom expressed deep concern that the absence of American scientists and data would hinder the timely completion of the 7th assessment report. This report, originally scheduled for release in 2029, was seen as crucial for informing the 2028 Paris Agreement stocktake, a global assessment of progress toward meeting the goals of the landmark climate accord. Developing countries, particularly those most vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, voiced fears that the US withdrawal would undermine global efforts to address this existential threat. The politicization of climate science by the Trump administration, they argued, set a dangerous precedent, potentially emboldening other nations to disregard scientific consensus and prioritize short-term economic interests over the long-term well-being of the planet. The year 2024 will be etched in history as the year the planet crossed a critical climate threshold. For the first time, global temperatures surged past 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, marking a grim milestone in the planet's warming trajectory. This breach of the 1.5 degrees Celsius limit, once considered a guardrail against the most catastrophic impacts of climate change, unleashed a cascade of extreme weather events across the globe. The United States, despite its retreat from the global stage on climate action, found itself on the front lines of this unfolding crisis. A relentless barrage of extreme weather events battered the nation from coast to coast. A record-breaking $27 billion weather and climate disasters ravaged the country, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake.